Today I'm going to be reviewing two of the NIV Study Bible Essential Guides. So I have Genesis and I also have Matthew. So I'll start by taking a look at Genesis. So if you have the NIV Study Bible, this content is adapted from that, and they add a couple features to it as well. So some features we're going to see in this. We're going to see the complete text of Genesis in the NIV translation. We're going to get a book introduction, study notes, insights, and full color in-text maps, charts, diagrams, and photos. And these are, again, all adapted from the NIV Study Bible, the new fully revised edition. For additional study, there are questions for reflection that are included with space for writing personal notes. We're going to have a full color interior design, the NIV comfort print, and the print size is 10.5. So if you like the NIV Study Bible and you're looking to do, a deeper dive of some individual books, these would definitely be a great option. Or if you're looking to get the NIV Study Bible but maybe can't afford it right now, I'm just going to start out with something a little less, you could get some of these guides to work through. And also just if maybe your church is doing a small group study on a book, your pastor is preaching through a book, these would be a great resource to have. So let's take a look here. So at the beginning, we're going to get a quick start study guide. It gives you some information about these, what they are. And you're going to want to read this section because it gives you what these little symbols mean in the study notes. So you're going to want to know what those mean. The trowel points out references containing study notes that provide light from archaeology. The seedling calls attention to scripture references containing study notes that have practical principles for personal application. And then the character symbol occurs in front of scripture references containing study notes that provide descriptions and/or characterizations of a person or a people group. It also sometimes appears in book introductions and essays. So I won't read all the notes here that are introducing this, but I just wanted to go over those because you're going to see these symbols as we look through this book here today. You're going to get a table of contents, a preface, and then we're going to get into Genesis. So you're going to get a book introduction which includes a title, the author and date of writing. We have a quick look over here which goes through author, audience, date, and theme. And you can see we start seeing these little symbols pop up already in the book introductions. That's why it's so important to know what those mean. It's also going to talk about here the theological theme and message. You're going to get a timeline. And I love the full color aspect to this Bible. You get full color images and charts, so that's really nice. The first article we're going to run into here is Genesis in its cultural setting, and this is talking about Genesis 1:1 to chapter 3. We get literary features, an article, what is the meaning of the divine name Yahweh, and then some questions for reflection. Here's where we actually get into the scripture. So this is a double column text. You can see it's above here, and then the study notes or the articles are down here below. And this is a 10.5 font again. This article is called Creation in the Bible in the Ancient Near East. I love how you not only have the article, but then you have a reflection question as well as some lines and space to answer that reflection question. So you can have it all together in one book. This is the biblical account of creation. And we have scripture here, study notes here. You're going to see again those little symbols throughout. And questions for reflection. And that's going to happen, you're going to have these reflection questions after each chapter as well. So I misspoke on the other page. Sometimes the scripture is going to be at the top with the article or the study notes towards the bottom. A lot of times it's going to be laid out like this, where you have the scripture on the left and then the study notes on the right. So it just depends on the page and what content is being presented on that page, just to make it all fit together. And the page thickness here, this feels more like a workbook, I would say, than a Bible, which is a good thing in this case, because then you can use your pens and your highlighters and you're not going to totally bleed through and ruin what's on the back page. As always, you can test it in the back. You know, have a tester page in the back of the book just to make sure before you use any type of medium, always in any book or Bible. But this would hold up pretty well, I feel, just from feeling the pages here and seeing the layout. It should hold up pretty well to most pens and highlighters. Okay, so we have chapter 5 here. We get additional insights, lifespan before the flood. So a reflection question, how can you walk faithfully with God like Enoch? With lines to answer right there. So each chapter is going to be laid out the same way. I love that after each chapter you have those reflection questions. I like how the notes are including those symbols, just kind of give you more insight about what type of notes you have there. And of course, I like the full color articles included and graphics as well. This is a chart on the major covenants in the Old Testament. So even some spaces here like this says note some favorite verses from the book of Genesis. This is integrated chronology of the patriarchs. An article on circumcision. So you're just going to get a lot of content. If you have the NIV Study Bible, you know there's a lot in there. And this is slightly condensed, but we also add these reflection questions and the lines to answer those questions, so we can keep all of your writing and your notes in one book, gives you more space to do so, and just allows you to spend more time reflecting on and reading in each individual book. So like I said, great if you want to do a deeper dive of an individual book of scripture, either by yourself or in a small group. These will be perfect. You could definitely use these on their own. You could, without the NIV Study Bible, they are definitely standalone editions. You could do that. The NIV Study Bible has some other content as well, or if you wanted to look up something in another book not included in these workbooks, it would also be a nice, these would complement having the NIV Study Bible very well also. But again, you could definitely use them without if you don't have it. So let's get to the end here. There's not a lot at the end, I don't believe. Remembering correctly, no. So we have a table of weights and measures. And that is pretty much it. Okay, so that is Genesis. Let's take a look at Matthew. Again, you're going to get a quick start guide. You're going to have a table of contents. We have the preface here. Sorry, my child's out here playing right now, so you may hear some strange noises. Here, again, book introduction. We have the same layout, author, date and place of writing. Over here's a little chart with author, audience, date, and theme. Lots of beautiful full-color images. We have recipients for this one, a timeline, purpose and structure, and then, of course, we have, again, those questions for reflection. So here's chapter 1 of Matthew. Just like before, we're going to have the scripture on the left. We have the study notes on the right. Reflection questions after each chapter. And we're going to have articles throughout as well, just as we did in the Genesis book. like how it includes maps and charts. Now, the only difference in this one with the font is this one being a New Testament book. It is going to be red letter. Kind of hold that closer so hopefully you can see the red letter. It's not bad. It's pretty good quality red letter. It could be a little bit more bold or dark, but honestly, it's not bad at all. Doesn't make it any harder to read or anything like that. This is the same font size, 10.5, as it was in Genesis. Show you some of those full color graphics and images that are included. Again, we're going to see the same symbols that were in Genesis throughout the study notes. Okay, and then once we get to the end, again, there's not much at the end. It's just that table of weights and measures, and then we're going to be at the end of the workbook. So there are some other books offered also. I can't remember off the top of my head now what they are, but I can put that in the description and the links to each of those. I obviously have Genesis and Matthew. I think they have Romans and Psalms, if I'm not mistaken so far. But I will definitely put that in the description with links for each of those as well to make sure you know what's available. So if you love the NIV Study Bible, or if you're thinking about checking it out but not sure if you want to commit to buying the whole Bible just yet, or if you're looking to do a deeper dive of an individual book in Scripture, these NIV Study Bible Essential Guides would be a great addition to your library.